Hello and welcome back everyone to Devil May Cry 3 on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, Lady is attempting to climb up using her grappling hook on the Kalina Ann, and we, well, just destroyed her fucking motorcycle, so she's gonna be pissed about that later.
Well, ain't this just like the tortoise in the hair?
15.
See, you know, tortoise will make it eventually, but hair is already ahead.
Only slightly. That one is significantly more obvious than it should be. The Gate Crasher. I dislike this level because we get introduced to a brand new enemy type here that is super fucking annoying for me to take down. If for those of you wondering why I stick to Agni and Rudra and Rebellion for the entire game, it's because of these guys specifically. Agni and Rudra is the only weapon aside from technically Cerberus that has a decent clear kill time on these fuckers. These guys are fallen angels. They have they have a perfect shield, and Agni and Rudra can thankfully, if you get actually lucky enough to hit it with both halves of Agni and Rudra, take it down in a single shot. But they also have the ability to go through fucking walls. So yeah. Attempting to take down these guys with any other weapon aside from Agni and Rudra is a fucking hassle. I think Spiral might be able to hit them through walls, but even if it could, Spiral doesn't actually do any damage until the shield's broken. So yeah, well, you don't actually have all that much HP if you manage to hit them directly in the face with Agni and Rudra several times. But it's these enemies and the Spiral Knights that I specifically hate fighting against because they're huge goddamn pace breakers. And later portions of the game will actually throw fallen angels at you with other enemy groups, especially on higher difficulties. And here we have Arachne again. Yeah, we are still technically underground, at least according to the Temen-Ni-Gru backdrops.
Everybody knows that spiders are most common in the basement. Really should get a Swiffer for that cobweb.
The reason I triggered Devil Trigger there is because it's the only way that I know specifically how to break out of the spiderweb trap immediately. Nice. I do believe that specific other weapons have a faster chance of breaking out of it, but I don't know which ones they are. It would be hilarious to me if it was Naven, specifically because Naven is a weapon that I am never going to learn how to fucking use. I just outright refuse to learn how to use Naven.
Yeah, and that's something, like, you get so used to a weapon style, and then you run into an enemy that's incompatible with that weapon style. I'm going to let you be the exception. I'm going to let you be the, here we go again, kind of deal. Versus what a more well-rounded player would do is to, you know, either be more open to improvisation or use a style that is more suited to every, you know, creature, not just most creatures.
Alright, so here we have the gimmick for this level. These pirate ship wheels, or, you know, ship wheels in general, are going to be throughout the this entire segment. What they do is they actually rotate Temen-Ni-Gru on an axis. And by rotating Temen-Ni-Gru on an axis, we have the ability to go into different parts of Temen-Ni-Gru that we previously did not have access to. If you notice, not this door, but
the provision.
This door. You'll notice that this door has had these three markings on it for the entirety of the game. Well, now those three markings actually mean something. It means that the rooms that are attached to those doors are affected by this particular pirate wheel.
Hit the. Oh, you have to keep dealing damage to it until it rotates the wheel.
Yeah.
Huh. Simon says.
And now it is rotated from the upper subterranean garden to this room. God, I hate this room. This is why I dislike this mission, to be perfectly honest. This mission is very, very much fucking filler. There's no reason for us to have to go through all this shit again, because we just did a serious climb using Lady's motorbike. So why the hell are we back down in the underground sections of Temen-Ni-Gru? We should not be in the underground sections. We should be at the very least above base level, and we aren't. We're just above where we did Virgil 2.
Well, it's because we're going through the environment again. I don't quite remember this part all that well.
That's because they didn't have enemies last time we were here.
Okay. Yes, Nier Automata did a similar thing in the machine factory.
Come on.
Oh, you little bastard.
But the whole reason we're in this hallway is to pick this up. We need to collect 3 Orichalcon fragments in order to power the Devil Sprout lift.
Oh,
Once we power the Devil Sprout lift, that's the end of the level.
We gotta Crash Bandicoot our way through this. Yeah.
Thankfully, a good portion of the enemy encounters for this level you can skip, but don't expect to get a good rating if you decide to skip everything because, well, your rating is completely dependent, is relatively dependent on how stylish your combat is. Right. And if you're choosing to skip the combat, then, well, your combat's not going to be all that stylish, now is it?
Well, what also hampers on the style factor is you need lots of enemies around in order to get your style meter up.
You need lots of enemies that you can melee, and this level does not have all that many enemies that you can melee. You get access to the Spiral Knights, the Fallen Angels, and the Arachne, but those are about it. These Blood Falcons, you can't realistically melee them until they've gone into statue mode, which requires firing your guns at them. And in this room, fuck that. I'm not doing that fight. And then here on Rounded Pathway, this is a room that we have also been into. I was just on a different side last time, trying to take down the Spiral Knights without Agni and Rudra is a fucking hassle. I do not like this mission. This mission can go screw itself. But the other reason why this mission can go screw itself is because this is one of the few missions that actually loads up the entirety of the last mission as well. If you know what you're doing, you can go all the way down to the very bottom of Temen-Ni-Gru, and there's a reason to go down there. There's a blue orb fragment and a combat adjudicator down there for, I think it's Beowulf that has got a combat adjudicator down there. So there's 2 blue orb fragments down there, and getting them is kind of important so that you actually have the survivability for the second to last boss fight, at least for me, because I'm terrible at that fight.
So you'd think that maybe one of the bad guys would have noticed that, hey, the whole fucking tower is rotating. Dante is still alive and he's coming.
They do notice because depending on which rotation Rounded Pathway is under, you'll get 2 different enemy formations. If it's on its side, you'll get the Spiral Knights, but if it's on its front or top, you'll end up getting the Artemis statues.
Interesting.
And then we have this one, which is the second Rounded Pathway, and here we end up with the Devil Leeches, and yeah. I don't understand how you're supposed to get a decent style rank in this mission, because there isn't a boss at the end of this. It's just a bunch of rounded pathway rooms. So I don't understand how to melee the Devil Leeches in general, to be perfectly honest, but I don't like this level. I have said that twice now.
Well, maybe that's just it, is that you have to melee the enemies correctly.
Okay, the Spiral Knights are get killed by a single Rebellion combo. The Fallen Angels are resistant to melee from everything except Agni and Rudra. The Devil Leeches are immune to melee with the exception of when they lose their mist forms, and the Blood Falcons are immune to melee until you've put them into statue form. So the majority of the enemy types that we have seen are either resistant or immune to melee damage. And because melee damage is how you build most of your style meter, yeah, if you go down the spiral staircase, you can end up all the way back down at the bottom of Temen-Ni-Gru, and there is actually a combat encounter down there, but like it's more flying enemies. So no, I'm not doing it. We have all 3 pieces of the Orichalcon now, so what we need to do is reset this back to neutral state so that we can get onto the Devil Sprout lift.
It feels like the whole tower.
Let's see. We have to actually do a fight against the Super Arachne. So yeah, we are on the correct rotation now. The Arachne are honestly one of the only enemy types in this mission that you have the ability to get in a decent style rank on, and the larger Arachne have a pretty good chance of parrying your sword swings and resetting your style meter. So.
Well, so this would be the longest contiguous fight I've seen so far. The first one being the Fallen Angels we saw at the beginning of the mission.
And again, the Fallen Angels are resistant or immune to a majority of melee damage, so...
Blast! Alright!
To be perfectly honest, this section of the game is significantly less interesting than it really wants to be. But for the record, it is tradition at this point. At this point in Devil May Cry, hell, it's still tradition going into Devil May Cry 5 that this segment of the game actually happens. Because even in Devil May Cry 5, we end up having a revisit through a good third of the Cleafort Vine, climbing all the way back up to the top. Okay, we're done with the Arachne fight. Let's go.
It's like the door is reaching for one last hope to finally...
But it has run out of will. One fragment, 2 fragments, 3 fragments.
I can count.
Although, despite the fact that this level is very much filler, now is when we get one of the coolest goddamn speeches in Devil May Cry history.
Alright.
Arkham's speech ascending into the demon realm is fucking legendary for how epic it feels. It's not honestly important, but it's cool as shit, man.
Okay, well, you really raised the bar now. I haven't seen this.
He plucks the threads that make us dance finger and toe. We surrender. Enjoy. To the lowest of the foul and rank. We submerge through darkness, rancid filth.
Me and my floating friends.
We move downward,
ever closer to hell, in a slow, steady gate.
Now, let the world resonate. Sloth, gluttony, greed,
anger, pride.
lust, wrath.
Yeah, the fucking subtitle beat me to it.
A bell of chaos that tolls human desires.
I like the fact that this starts into a poem and then it just goes into a rant.
Years, the once sealed gates.
Because these gates were sealed by Jesus Christ, and he came in and fucked everything up. Come on,
no, they were sealed by Sparta, who was much more powerful than Jesus.
Let your instincts drive you.
Ha, he said drive.
Entrap this world in fear, as its very name, Temen-Ni-Gru,
Strikes terror into the heart of mankind.
Temen-Ni what?
Then I will become the ultimate ruler of this wasteland, engulfed with pandemonium,
Yeah, it's pretty metal.
the demonic power that Sparta once imprisoned will be
I admit it doesn't end very strong, but I love that fucking speech.
Oh, he's got evil laughter.
The cinematography, the presence that it has, it honestly feels really nice. It honestly feels really epic, even if it's not important at all.
He had evil laugh.
We
And in the
almost
next
got S rank in style.
Heh.
And in the next part, we will continue our climb up Temen-Ni-Gru.
Keep on climbing, everybody.
Be safe.